Hello. I like my intro short and sweet, just like me. So if you've heard me speak at one of your conferences, you'll know that one of the things that I am most grateful for in the world is the fact that the statue of the Venus de Milo proved to the world that a woman without arms can be stunningly beautiful. Like most of you, I still maintain she is a complete attention seeker for not wearing a shirt. You'll see that I do things a little bit differently. I click with my toes. The speaker with the boxing gloves earlier, there's absolutely no excuse. So, growing up, I've always tried to focus on what I can do. I've always had an absolute fascination with how people who seem to have less do so much more. I've learned that over the years, I'm quite impressive. I mean, I've got a master's degree in clinical psychology, I've got a busy psychology practice, international speaking career, I run a non-profit organization, and I even drive a car completely hands-free. So guess what I think when my friends always send me videos of armless people doing amazing things? I mean, there's an armless guy that can play the drums like no drummer you've ever seen. They are excelling at sports, including archery, and a woman without arms is even flying an aeroplane. All I reply to my friends are, I'm sorry for being such an underachiever. I feel that once we know exactly what our limitations are, that's when we can overcome our challenges. I think that I'm at an advantage. Growing up, I knew exactly what my challenges were going to be. I learned to compensate for them, and then I flourished because I learned to tolerate uncertainty. Many of you will know that I'm an inspirational keynote speaker. I'm usually placed at the beginning of a conference to start off on a good note, or I'm in the graveyard shift. That's when I have to tie up all the content into practice. I feel that it's very important to recognize that another branch of the work that I do is looking at diverse abilities. I'm so passionate about recognizing the abilities of people with disabilities and to recognize how important it is to see that in each company, everybody has different disabilities. Each one of you sitting in this room has a disability or two. Perhaps it's on a Monday morning that you're in a really bad mood and your road rage is exceptional, like this morning. Perhaps it's that you are insecure, you've got low self-esteem, so in a meeting you never step up to give your opinion because you're too afraid of what people might think of you. Perhaps your disability is that when you get home from work, you're updating your Facebook status, you're cooking the supper, and you're just slightly glancing at your children's picture that they did for you. I think that the main reason that companies want me to come in is to acknowledge that South Africa has some of the most progressive laws when it comes to the employment of people with disabilities, but there's an attitudinal barrier that is the greatest challenge to the recruitment, the integration, and the advancement of people with disabilities. The companies that I work with often want me to focus on encouraging disclosure of disabilities in the workplace. I think I'm positioned quite uniquely because not only do I have a physical disability, I have no arms if you didn't notice, I also, as working as a clinical psychologist, have such an understanding of the hidden disabilities that affect us so much in the workplace. And HR managers often refer employees to me for therapy because the fact remains in the stressful world that we live in, depression and anxiety are rampant, and they're affecting our productivity and our absenteeism. But when we learn to focus on people's abilities, companies like SAP have a project called Autism in Work. And what that project is recognizing that they want to recruit people on autism spectrum because they recognize that they have incredible positives and advantages to working, especially close attention to detail. So I think that all of us have one thing in common, and that is the desire to be happy. If you're a company that really wants to bring diversity, inclusion, and transformation into the workplace to make it a happier and healthier environment, be in touch with me. I not only do keynotes, I do workshops and mentorship and coaching programs. So I think leaving today, I would like all of you to take on the premise of positive psychology. Don't ignore what is wrong, but focus more on what is right. Thank you so much. Thank you.